Hello, Internet. First off, last week's hypothetical of the day. If you could make any one event exciting for everybody, I think that I would probably do my grandmother's birthday. My grandma's a great lady, and she's been through a lot in her life. She's done a lot for me and my family. And I think if I can make one event exciting for the world, like nationally celebrated, I think it would be my grandma's birthday. I think it'd be awesome for her to just have like this big party and just have everyone stand up, take notice, and be like, "Hey, you're awesome." So if I could make just one event in the world, incredibly exciting, that'd probably be it. Speaking of birthdays, today is my birthday, and honestly, I think birthdays are kind of depressing. And I was kind of like sitting here, I'm like, why are birthdays depressing? And I think it's like when you're a little kid, you look forward to it because every birthday is something more you can do. It means you're getting like a little more freedom. You get the ability to drive, or you get the ability to drink, or you get the ability to just be a little bit older and go learn more complicated stuff in school. But I think kind of when you get past college, birthdays start to get kind of depressing or kind of morose because it's less about gaining things that you can do and more about, well, you didn't do that, you didn't do that, you didn't achieve this. And we kind of stop doing a lot of things that we love because they're not practical anymore. You wind up being like, well, I really love playing with Legos, and maybe someday I'll be an architect. And then you go, oh no, I'm not going to be an architect. I've got a degree in this, and I've done this, and I've done that. So why would I play with these Legos? Take, for example, I used to draw all the time, like constantly. And it was because I really liked comic books, and I just liked making comic book type characters and concept art. And I don't draw hardly at all anymore. And I think it's partly because I'm not directly in a place where that would pay off. And it's terrible, I think, that we give up so much of ourselves as we grow up. I personally want to be that guy that when he's, 100, he's trying to pick up new hobbies and he's trying to try new things. He's like wondering I'm 100. What am I going to do with the next 100 years? I really respect people who are like that, who can really, constantly see things as not necessarily what's the immediate payoff, but just what can they do because they love it. Because of that, my challenge for the week for myself is to do at least one thing every day that I love, but I don't normally do because it lacks immediate practical benefit. And just, enjoy things that I enjoy for the week, even if it's something as simple as reading a book for fun, which I haven't done in far too long. Also, for my birthday, I've come up with a 5-item bucket list, right? A lot of people tell you, all right, let's write a bucket list, let's make, 100 things to do before you die. And I think asking for 100 things is kind of daunting. And then you start trying to really reach for really philosophical things or really cool sounding things. I decided to narrow it to my top 5. We'll see if any of these have been accomplished by next year, which I'm almost certain most of them won't be. Item 1, I would love to direct a feature film. I'd like to do anything on a feature film, but the reason I'd like to direct it is because directing is kind of like, it's your show, it's your baby. I think at least once in my life, I'd like to be in charge of something that is such a huge combined effort by so many people. And to really do my best to see it through and make sure that it got completed and that was something worth watching. It's a big responsibility, and I feel like when I'm a DP or when I'm an editor or when I'm anything else on a film project, you don't really respect the amount of stress and the amount of work that a director actually has to deal with. And I would love to, do that because I think the end accomplishment is worth it if directing shorts has been any indication. Item 2 is that I would like to follow a scientific research expedition and produce a documentary on their expedition. When I make a documentary, one of the fun things about doing it, and I do a lot of geek documentaries for this reason, is that you get to show something that someone is passionate about or something that someone's entire world. a lot of us don't understand the practical benefits of someone going out into the jungle and taking notes on chimpanzees for 6 years. But at the same time, those things have real ramifications, and to other people, that's their entire world, and that's a huge inspiration. And I think it would be cool to use my camera or use my talents to try and show the world something through a scientific researcher's eyes. Item 3 is that I'd really like to get on some late night comedians talk show. And this, I mean, has obvious benefits. It means that I've accomplished something that is worthy of getting on someone's show. But it's also got a bit of a personal connection beyond that, which is that my dad died before he could ever really see me like make something awesome or something that was really relative or relevant to the world, or that was like, I think that major accomplishment, that major feel proud of your kid moment, beyond, you know, the graduating from high school, graduating from college, but that real adult I'm proud of you moment. If I can't achieve that moment directly because my dad's no longer with us, I think it would be awesome to have that moment of recognition on a late night talk show, because when I was growing up, my mom and dad were divorced and they lived like 600 miles away from each other. So whenever I would come to visit my dad, we would be getting home at like 11:30 midnight. And rather than going to sleep, because I know he was exhausted from driving and I was exhausted, we'd stay up and we'd watch Leno, or we'd stay up and we'd watch Conan together, and before we'd go to bed. And it was just kind of a cool way for us to, you know, keep up with what was going on in the entertainment industry. And since I don't think I'll ever get the recognition of a Nobel Prize, I don't think I'll ever get the recognition of some great humanitarian achievement or a, you know, chance to have dinner with the president, I think that being able to shake hands with Stephen Colbert or Jon Stewart would be kind of a good tribute to my dad, and also make me feel like I had achieved that, you know, something at a level that I think my dad could have really been proud of. Item 4 is that I'd love to go on a backpack trip. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a backpack trip, but really I have this idea of going on either a giant road trip with a bunch of friends or going on a backpack trip with a bunch of friends. Something where it was like small and simple, and it was more about just the journey than where you're actually going. I've been trying to think of who I'd actually bring on this trip if I could go, and like what would be a really good trip dynamic. And I feel like 4 people would be about right, but picking just 4 people that I know is really tricky. I mean, I know I'd want Ray to be there, and I know I'd want my friend Chris to be there, but then it's like, all right, what are the other 2? And then pretty much go to my friends from college, and there's so many of you that it would be awesome to go on a trip with. I can't really pick just 2. Honestly, if any of you ever want to do some kind of crazy backpack adventure or road trip, count me in. I am like all over that. My 5th thing for my ultra tourniqueted bucket list, and probably the biggest thing for my ultra tourniqueted bucket list, is that I would like to be a good dad. It's not something that I think I'm like ready for. I think I need to do some growing up before I can be a really good parent. When I see one of my friends who has kids and I see them just being a really good parent, it's like when you see a rock star up on stage and you say, hey, I want to be like that guy. Or when you see a movie star, or you're like, even just a fictional character in a movie being like the super spy, and you have that fantasy of being that awesome. That's how I feel when I see some of my friends with their kids. I think it's something that would be incredibly hard, but I think it's something that would ultimately be very worth it. And I imagine it gives you back far more than you put into it, even when it's incredibly exhausting. And so, yeah, if I could pick anything over being a world-renowned filmmaker, over being a rock star, over being, you know, some great politician, the number one thing I would like to do in my life is be a good parent. Final order of business for today, the hypothetical of the day. It was really only my intention to do the hypothetical of the day as a vlog for the first week of doing this vlog as a way of developing good habits and getting used to talking to camera. By the way, challenge met, you don't get to punish me, internet. But I do feel like it is helping me get better at talking on camera. So I'm going to try and do more daily hypotheticals in the upcoming week. But it's not my challenge this week, so you don't get to punish me if I don't do it. Actually, I know I won't be doing it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because I'm out of town. But I'm going to try for a while to post the hypothetical of the day or some other daily content. Ultimately, my goal for this vlog is to get to the point where I'm comfortable enough on camera to do tutorials, to do short skits, to do a lot of really kind of fancier, more worthwhile content than just me rambling and talking to a camera. Right now, I'm trying not to hide behind any visual effects, any tricky editing, or any characters that I could put on the screen. But eventually, that's going to happen because that's what I like doing. But right now the goal is to get good at talking to the camera and better at organizing my thoughts. So, that said, your hypothetical of the day for today, if you could visit any birthday party in history, what one would you go to? Alright everybody, thanks for watching, let me know, and I'll see you later this week.